Hi and welcome to a Sowiso workshop on how to set up a summer course. When setting up a summer course, we probably want to have a class that is run on its own, where students can work independently. So presumably you don't want to have a lot of work with your class and everything should be kind of rolling out automatically by itself. That means that at the beginning we're going to have to set up a few things, but then later during the summer you're not actually going to have to do a lot with your class. To do that, we're going to set up a self-test for the students, we're going to make some practice material available for them, and we're going to use the forum, especially with the AI solution bot. When you log into Sowiso, you can start by going to the Teacher tab here, and there we're going to create a new class. So you can go in the upper right and click on Manage, and then choose New Class. I'm going to call it a summer course, and I'm going to set up an end date, and that's going to be maybe the end of September, let's say like that. I'll save the course, and now I have this new class available. I'm immediately added to this class, but of course if you want to add any colleagues, you can add them here, just search for their name, and then you can add them to the same class if they need to edit it together with you. The first thing we're going to do is set up the course material. You can do that here, and you can see that I have a lot of access. You're going to have some of the materials accessible here, depending on what your agreement is. So you can just search from those. If you ever want to have more access, you can visit our website and then choose from those courses and just let us know and we can make more courses available for you. In this situation, I'm going to choose a basic math course and I'm going to right click on it and add it. Basic math is actually mostly used for a course that people use for summer courses because it does give a nice overview, a nice foundation for the students that are preparing who maybe didn't do mathematics in a long time. So it covers a lot of basic topics. You can see it here on the left. Everything added here on the left is now on the home page, so it's immediately accessible to students. And because this is a summer course, I would advise to leave everything exactly as it is. I wouldn't hide any of the chapters so that you can allow your students to participate and engage with the material as much as they want, and they can also skip subjects they don't need and do whatever they want to do. So that was the first step. I'll go back to homepage here and just quickly show you what it looks like. If I switch to the student mode, you'll see that the students see exactly the same thing. So those are our chapters. Next thing we need to do is set up a self-test for our students. And this test is going to be for them to establish how much they are prepared for the next year. They can check how their knowledge is and if they need to study a lot or if they need to just go over certain subjects. So to do that, we're going to go to the Teacher tab and we're going to go to Tests. I'll start a new test here. And in the first tab, I'm going to choose Course Material. So we're going to use everything that we already added before. And here I will select some exercises. Now a great tip for a summer course is to use sections. If I set up a couple of sections here, I can rename them and call them numbers, algebra, linear formulas and equations, and then I can give the students results per those sections. So that way they will know which subjects are the weaker points for them and which subjects they already know very well. So here I will just mark this section first and I will call it numbers. And then I'm going to just start adding some things. So to make it super easy for you, you can also just add a whole package. I'm just scrolling down here till the end of the chapter because usually exercises at the end of a chapter are more difficult. So here I can just automatically select this whole thing. So there's 7 exercises that are added. But here I'm going to filter them out and I'm going to say that they're going to get only 2 exercises from this chapter. Then I'll go to section 2 and I will name this one Algebra. And then I will continue doing the same thing. So opening up this Algebra chapter. Now I'm just randomly selecting some exercises, but of course you can go through them, you can preview them, and then choose the ones that you want to add to the test. And again, I'm just going to filter out a couple of exercises or only just one, and then the students are randomly going to be assigned an exercise. Once you're done with selecting exercises, you can then go to the next step, which is language. In this case, we're not going to touch the language settings. We're going to go to the date and time. And there we're going to choose a very long period of time. So starting from today, we're going to open up this test and we're going to allow them to start it up until September 1st. I'm not touching any other of these settings. In the next step, I'm going to call this a self-test. And I'm not going to add any other information here. In the settings, the test will be available. For maximum number of attempts, I'm going to say unlimited. So this is a test that's going to be automatically graded, and the students can do it as much as they want, and they will know that they can do it as much as they want. So they can just keep practicing, they can keep having different check-in points during the summer. And for the duration in minutes, we can also leave it at 0 because this is not a graded test. It doesn't really matter how much time they take. In the results section, I'm going to say release everything. So that means that whenever the students submit a test, they're going to get all of the answers, the points, the correct answers, everything is going to be in there. And more importantly, I'm going to leave this enabled, view results by section. That's because I want to get those results in the sections that I previously renamed, so the students know exactly what their weaker points are. With the rest of these things, I'm not going to change anything right now because the test that we need really needs to be pretty flexible, pretty free for the students. We don't need any other restrictions. So I will just save it now. Here is our test. And if I go on the home page, the students see it here as well. Now we have our practice material already available on the home page, but to make it even nicer for students, we're going to go into Teacher and then into Settings here. And then under Practice Mode, we're going to choose Learn Without Restrictions. And this means that the students can click around, they can do whichever exercise they want in whichever order they want. So they don't have to be stuck with doing exercise by exercise in every package, because that can be a little bit frustrating if you're just trying to quickly go through the materials. So enable this to allow students to practice at their own tempo. And the last thing on our list was enabling the forum, and specifically enabling the AI solution bot in the forum. And that is again in the same place under Teacher and then Settings. And that's going to be under Forum. The forum is already enabled by default. You see it here. But another setting we need is enable the AI solution bot. So I'm going to check that one. And that means that the students can now interact with the AI solution bot. So if they have a question, they can check the box that says ask the solution bot first. But then of course, as a teacher, you can also answer the question afterwards. Another alternative to this would be to disable the forum altogether. So if you don't have the resources to check the forum at all during the summer, and if you don't want to use the solution bot for whatever reason, you can just disable the forum, and then the students are not going to have this tab and they can't post any questions there. And the last thing is to, of course, invite our students. And to do that, we're going to go to class settings here. And then we're going to go to the access code. Right now, there's no access code, so I'm going to generate a new one. I'm getting immediately two different links. The first link is for the students who need to sign up via the browser, and probably you're going to use this one, especially if your students don't have student email addresses yet, or if for whatever reason you don't have a SurfConnect integration or LMS integration, you can just share this first link with them, and they can easily create an account with just putting in their name, email address, and a password. And then the second link, this one in this case is an LMS link, so you can use it if you're using Canvas, Blackboard, Brightspace, Moodle, or any other learning management system. And then you can add this link to your learning management system. And the third link that you could possibly have here is the SurfConnect link. And that one you can allow your students to just use their SurfConnect credentials. So that would be here instead of the LMS link. And that's it. Our summer course is completely ready. As I mentioned before, we have our self-test here. We have our practice available for students and they can click around as much as they want. and we have the forum set up in a way that they can use the AI solution bot. So hopefully this is going to allow your students to independently interact with Sowiso without needing much teacher support. Thank you for watching.